Hey guys and gals, it's Jim here, and thought I'd bring back another update on the 350th Pegasus build. Got since last video I did, I believe, a couple days ago. I took a day, I gave anything that was getting decaled a couple shots of gloss coat, testers, rattle can, and let it set for a day. And then I did the decals yesterday and all that. Spent most of the day doing the decals. There's not a lot of them. Most of the decals on the sheet are for the Pegasus. There's probably a lot of little pinstriping that goes on in the top of the nacelles and down the top of the pylon and things like that. A lot of that stuff is for the Pegasus. So probably about I think there's maybe about 20 decals that get used on here, and a lot of the decal sheet is different registry numbers for different ships and different names and stuff and all that. So don't be disappointed if you think you didn't use all the proper decals, and it tells you on the box what numbers decals not to use for the Grissom. So anyway, I got all my decals on yesterday and everything. It was easier to put them on before assembly, because once you start put assembly and things, some of them might be a little bit more difficult to line up and everything, fiddle around, you might damage them and stuff. So most of the decals can be applied. The only two of them cannot be applied before assembly. These go on the back of this here section, because they cover the edge of the this is the top, the top of the hull and the bottom of the hull. They go back in this little curved area, and they cover the between the seam between the two parts too. So they're a little bit wider than this front one. I found this one especially easy to put on before assembly, because you got more, it's easier to get to and everything. Otherwise, you got the other part of the hull assembled, and you got the dish sticking out here, so it's a lot more tedious and stuff to try to work with and get on right and everything. I didn't have to do any trimming on it. I did use I've been using this for since the 80s. Walter's Solvaset. That's the only decal setting solution I've ever used. It works great. I did use it on the decals. It really worked great on these decals. They weren't too thick like a lot of the round 2 decals are. Some of them are thick and brittle. These were just right. They weren't the fancy ones that they came out with back when they did the Excelsior. I forget the Cartograph. They weren't Cartograph. They were regular round 2 print, but they were real nice for a change. Usually round 2 decals are real thick and brittle. But anyway, so that one's finished. These two go on after the 2 pieces of the hull are assembled and stuff. So we'll set that to the side. I got the top of the saucer. That's all decaled. You only got 4 decals on there. The name, the USS Grissom, the registry, and then the 2 pinstripes and everything. Pretty easy to line up and all that. Just make sure you got them, straight and everything. Bottom half of the hull, you got 3 decals, the stripes, registry name and stuff like that. Nothing on the top. Now, if this was the Pegasus, there's a red pinstripe goes down back along there and stuff. So got that part out of the way. Got these two. These are easier to decal before assembly too, because you got easier to handle and get the decals applied right. Use the Walters Solvaset on those, and they sat down real nice. They should wrap around the little curved edges just slightly and everything, and all that. So I didn't need to do any trimming on them or nothing like that. The Solvaset set them down real nice. As long as you got them, centered right, it's they're going to work out fine for you and everything. So got those finished. Got the nacelles. It's the one with the outer side of this nacelle with the pennant on there and all that and all. And then the inside of the nacelle looks like that. No pennant or anything, just straight up. Now this here decal, when you do the masks, the mask should sit 1/16 inch in from that edge. And then the end of the pinstripe should be right by the little panel line back there on the tail. But other than that, they lined up real nice with the masks and everything. So I'm real happy with the way those turned out and everything. The decals were fairly easy to work with. They're quite big, like those are quite long, and then they get real thin and stuff. So it takes a little patience, you know, to make sure you don't get nothing broken off or wrapped. You know, sometimes these longer thin decals, they like to wrap themselves underneath themselves and everything, and you gotta try to straighten it all out, and it's almost like getting a knot out of a spool of fishing line and stuff like that. But everything went pretty smooth as long as you take your time and don't rush things. And then I got my pontoon all finished up. They recommend on the decal placement to cut this. This is one long decal from here all the way back to the registry. Then the registry number and the end of the pinstripe is a separate decal. They recommend to cut these down across there. I didn't prefer to cut them. I did them in one piece. It worked out okay. They should start out, there's some little panel line indentations there. They should start out right up there at the front, work their way back. And if you get them on right, this here red stripe that comes down will sit along the back edge of the gray area that you got painted, and your little navigation light should be right almost centered inside this little area up in here and stuff. So and then they just run through the center of the white painted area all the way to the back, both sides being the same. And then on the bottom you got the one long stripe, and this is the only one I cut because since I got my mounting rod in there for my to mount on my regular rod for the base, this will slide inside the longer tube that I got mounted on my base. I already got my base made up and everything weeks ago and stuff, so because I figure once I start assembling this, I'll mount this on the base, and then it'll be easier to work with wiring because you're going to be working basically from the ground up. But this decal I did cut because part of it sits in front of the mounting tube, the rest sits in back, and the little gap around there, that'll be covered up by the regular mounting tube, so you won't notice no little space in there or nothing like that. So, but anyway, they all went pretty easy. These two side decals, when they wrap around the bottom here, they overlap and stuff. So, but all this worked out real nice and everything. Happy with the way she's looking. And next thing I'll be doing is going on to putting in the windows, making sure I don't have no light leaks before I start doing my lighting. Now the lighting is going to be a bit tricky because basically you're going to have 4 leads coming in here. You're going to have 2 leads for your constant on. I'm not doing flashing navigation lights because it's not screen accurate. The only thing that'll be blinking is the strobes. So I'll have 2 sets of wires, one for your ship lights and navigation lights, constant on lights. The rear engine, that'll be constant on. Might use a flickering, I'm not sure yet, but I can wire all that in together. Then you'll have 2 leads coming up for your strobe lights and everything. So you'll start out with 2 leads coming up, 4 leads coming up into the pylon, but once you get into the pylon and get the lights in there wired up, then you're going to be branching out 4 leads on each side through the pylons, the supports. So it's going to get, you know, you're going to be like branching out like tree branches grow, then they get little shoots and everything because you got to go through each section. Make sure you got the 2 leads for each set of your lights and everything like that. So I'm probably not going to be doing no videos until she's all finished up with the lighting and put together. So for now, that's going to do it. And all that, probably going to make my own circuit board for my strobes like I normally do. So other than that, that's going to do it. And she's coming along pretty smoothly, and been a lot of fun working on this and everything. So once I get done with this, I can get back to some of the things that I've already been working on, and I get back to buttoning those up. I got the diorama that I was working on. That's sitting off to the side now that the weather is getting cooler. Some of the work I couldn't do with the heat and everything, because even with the air conditioner in the house, things were quite, there was a lot of moisture and everything from the heat we've been having this summer. So where you kind of got some more seasonal like type weather in the 70s and less humid and everything. So I can get other stuff buttoned up. But that's where we're at. That's what I got finished up this past weekend. Once I did all the decals, I had this masked off. I had the top part masked off. Those I left with a semi-gloss. Everything else I coated with all coat over the decals. So it's all set to go and all that, and go from there. So till the next time, thanks for following along with this build. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks to all my new subscribers. Thanks for the great comments you guys been leaving me. Thanks for hitting the like button, and we'll talk to you soon with all the lighting finished up. Probably in a few days. Hopefully it'll go pretty smooth and everything. So till the next time, take care. Bye.